There is some young talent absolutely taking center stage at Commanders Camp, and I am here to talk about it. All right, if you are new to our channel, what we love doing is we love talking NFL football. This isn't our first channel. As you can see behind me, I got a Lions jersey. We are Lions fans. We don't hide that in any way, shape, or form, but we love the NFL. So we wanted to make a second channel. We've been doing it for about a year now. So if you are yet to subscribe, check out this video, see if you like it. If you don't like me, see Chris's video. Maybe you like him more. I'm fine with that. I just love talking football and having a good time while doing it. So on Rigo's Rag, there was a post talking about players that are already kind of turning heads in Washington's camp. And it made me remember, and it made me realize that the young talent on this team is absolutely remarkable. You had a phenomenal draft this year, especially your first 3 rounds. And there's also a player from last year's draft that I will admit I laughed out loud while doing a live feed for Sports Talk Detroit when you made it. We're going to talk about who that player is and how he has done exactly what he needed to do in order to get himself NFL ready after a struggle in his rookie season. All right, so let's talk about that player first. That is none other than Emmanuel Forbes Jr. And you might be asking yourself, why, Craig, did you laugh when the Commanders drafted him? I can tell you very quickly and very easily why. He was selected 16th overall in the first round. And I had a grade on him that was lower than that, but it's not because he wasn't fast. It's not because he didn't have ball skills. It had nothing to do with that. It's because he weighed 170 pounds. Like a player that, honestly, if he was a D1 football player, which he was at Mississippi State, he was flat out not big enough there. So if he's not big enough there, he's not big enough for the NFL. However, he's revealed, now players' numbers are always exaggerated, right? That he put on 17 pounds this offseason to better cope with the physical aspect of playing the cornerback position. And when you see what he did, his coverage was okay. But again, when you're that light, the physicality of even playing against a wide receiver is difficult. His coverage was okay at best, okay to bad. Let's be honest. His run defense was absolutely pitiful. And if you can't play run defense, you can't consistently have a spot in this league and on Dan Quinn's defense. You just can't. So here's the thing. He's put on 17 pounds, which still makes him a slightly light corner in the NFL. But if he can keep some of that 4.35 speed that we saw him run at the combine last year, he's going to be doing just fine. All right. And he will be able to be stickier in coverage because he's not going to get pushed around as much. I think you could see big things in the second year out of him. And so far in practice, it looks like that's exactly what's happening because he's lining up every play, not every play, but the vast majority of time, they're putting him directly across from Terry McLaurin, who we know is a very good wide receiver who can beat you in a multiple of ways. So as we see this, and from all in attendance, Forbes is holding his own. Right now, they're putting him on the starting side opposite of Benjamin St. Juste, all right, a guy that I know well, played at U of M, all right, we're from Michigan. You see the Harbaugh photo up there, all right, and he played at Michigan, transferred to Minnesota, and always had kind of the prototypical body to play corner or safety in the NFL. It was just a question of whether he could put it together. He has, it looks like Forbes is as well. All right. When you look at another young player that is turning heads, the next one has to be Johnny Jerzon Newton. All right. This is crazy to me. For a guy that should not have, honestly, many people didn't know when he would hit the field this year. After, I think it was multiple foot surgeries. After multiple foot surgeries, nobody knew what he was going to do. And not only is he on the field, all right, but he passed his physical with flying colors. All right, he's out there and it greatly increases his chances of making an immediate impact. So for me, this isn't even talking about how great he's playing. It's not even talking about how great he's playing at camp because that's not even what's happening. All right, and that's no big deal. All right, that's no big deal. Sorry, audio just started going on my computer. All right, it's not even about that because there's not even much pads that have been going on. So the fact is, All right, he still has a big chip on his shoulder for falling out of the first round. As a rookie, you need training camp. I have seen it too many times where rookies miss training camp, and then because they miss their training camp, it's 8, 10, 12 games before they're really even making an impact on the field, even as first-round picks. So if he can stay through training camp healthy, you are going to see him start to play well week 2, 3, 4 almost immediately because he's had the time that he needed to get on track. All right, and then I save the best for the last, and it is the last two. All right, and the first one is a player that I know very, very well, and it is Mikey Sainristil. Mike Sainristil, a guy who was a wide receiver in college, selflessly moved to the defensive side, and became the heart and soul of that defense. After his senior year, he wanted to become a fifth-year senior to come back for unfinished business and to win a national championship. And darn it, he did it. That's what's amazing about him. They have brought him in, and he is immediately slotted in as, no pun intended, the nickel or slot cornerback. That's what he is. And I'm telling you, he is going to be a top 5 or top 10 nickel corner in the NFL from the jump, from day one. And he's not going to do it because he's the most athletic, even though for a nickel corner, he is pretty athletic. All right. He's not going to do it because he's the biggest, but he's going to do it because he does everything right. This is a player that is coachable. This is a player that has been coached up, and he will be able to play with the best from day one, not because he's going to outmuscle them or be more athletic, but simply because he is a better football player. All right, that is why. And then your final one, the guy you all want to hear about, the one that if he's not good, the rest of this doesn't even matter, right? It's Jayden Daniels. And he is turning his heads. All right, they're saying he's carrying himself like a franchise quarterback. He's staying after. He's working with other players. All right, and he has a ton of expectations. I think a lot of people, when he was drafted number 2, you can answer it for me, is that who you wanted? Look, I live in West Michigan. We have a lot of Chicago transplants. There was a lot of Bears fans that said, we know they never do it, but we kind of wish the Bears would be able to draft Jayden Daniels, because they can see a path to him being very good right away. All right, Jayden Daniels, you always have to ask the question, is it chicken or the egg? Is he great because he had great wide receivers, or are the wide receivers great because they had a great quarterback in Jayden Daniels? Why can't it be both? I think Malik Neighbors is a special talent at wide receiver, and he allowed Malik Neighbors to become the best receiver in college football. Yes, he was better last year than Marvin Harrison Jr. was. I'm not saying he's going to be a better pro, but he had a much better season because he had a much better quarterback. And then when you talk about Brian Thomas Jr., when you watch his film, he was drafted in the first round because of Jayden Daniels. Otherwise, he's a second or third round pick. That's what he is. All right, I really do believe that to be true. Don't get me wrong. He had a ton of talent. So did A.D. Mitchell. And how far did he fall? Like, I thought A.D. Mitchell was actually a better wide receiver than Brian Thomas when you put the film on. It's just simple. Brian Thomas had a better quarterback. And it's not like they had a chump quarterback over at Texas. So he's taking everything in stride. There doesn't seem to be anything like that is bothering him. From what we're hearing, his accuracy, improved timing with his pass catchers, and command of the huddle have been impressive to see. All right, and that's the question. You know his feet are going to work. You know it's going to go well. All right, the question are a couple for me. All right, can he continue to learn at a fast pace? 1. And number 2, can he slide? Can he avoid getting rocked? Because just like we talked about Forbes, Jayden Daniels, he does not have a body that seems to be big enough yet to be an NFL quarterback. He's got to put on some weight, but can he avoid getting hit while he puts that on? Commanders fans, like seriously, this is a fun team to watch. This is a fun team to cover. I'm excited to watch this. There should be some serious hopium, all right? You should be filled with hope over there in Washington, because I'm telling you, in the nation's capital and in Virginia and all the other people that root, all right, for the Commanders. Remember, the Commanders, well, it was the Redskins, but the Redskins were my grandpa's team. He lived in Richmond, Virginia, loved Washington, and so I have a nice connection in my heart for them. This is the best semblance of young talent I think they've had in a while, and Peters at GM, dude knows what he's doing. You got the real one there. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned here if you want more Commanders content and just pure NFL content. See you.